Welcome back, everyone, to Getting In, a College Coach Conversation. We're all about the summer today. And in our last segment, I'm very excited to welcome a guest, Audrey Wisch, who is the founder and CEO of Curious Cardinals, to talk about using the summer to explore interests. Welcome, Audrey.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to share a little bit about Curious Cardinals and our goal to help students discover and pursue their passions, specifically in the summertime.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. It's very timely. This is going to be airing on June 15th. So many students are already out of school and some still have maybe another week or two to go, but essentially the summer is upon us. But before we get into kind of using that time, can you just tell us a little bit about Curious Cardinals?
So I founded Curious Cardinals when I was a student at Stanford. I was sent home from the pandemic. I was a history major, thought I was pre-law, and I began working with students and observed a disconnect between what they were learning in school and what they were passionate about, and started applying what they were learning in school to my own passions in hopes of igniting their imagination for what they could pursue and why, and saw that was a really powerful way to learn. One of them asked for math help. I wasn't as passionate about math, and that's where my eventual co-founder came into the picture. He was an aerospace engineer and started applying what they were learning in math to how airplanes fly. And my co-founder and I were reflecting on the fact that we were super lucky to have found our passions early on. And that felt like our guiding North Star that helped us figure out which clubs we wanted to participate in, which electives to choose, how to spend our summers, where we even wanted to go to college. And there's not that much space in the school day to discover what that thing is. So we felt that there was a real opportunity here to connect curious middle and high school students to extraordinary and inspiring college mentors to shed light upon that journey and help them discover and pursue that passion. So that's what Curious Cardinals does. We are a mentorship platform. We recruit the most accomplished and inspiring college students and recent grads, and we make personalized matches. We have 3 tracks, and we're all about meeting students where they're at on their journey. The exploratory journey 1, the passion project 2, and academic mentorship 3. The exploratory journeys for students who don't know what they're interested in or have a vague idea of an interest to get started through guided exploration, whether you want to learn about climate change or healthcare or different social justice issues. I always say that in high school, I didn't take computer science, not because I wasn't interested, but because I thought maybe I'd get a bad grade and it would tarnish my chances of getting into Stanford, which is such a terrible reason not to try something.
Yes.
Aim to detach that fear of failure and encourage exploration. And the exploratory journey is a perfect place to start. The second path is the passion project. And oftentimes the exploratory journey leads to a passion project. Like you figure out that within climate change, you're super passionate about journalism and you want to make a blog. So some students come in and have like a dream project in mind or have a strong passion, but want to do something with it. So they work with a mentor to bring this project idea to fruition. The mentor helps them say, where do you want to be 12 months from now? Let's work backwards, set goals, project management, and fill in the gaps of their knowledge. And then the third track is academic mentorship, which is I lacked a lot of confidence in high school in STEM. One of the things is I was one of the few girls in my honors math class, and I really didn't see myself in the space. And so I could have really benefited from a female engineering mentor. Yeah. And so whether it's your race, your gender, your learning difference, you have an aspiration to be a college athlete, we want to match you to a mentor who you can see yourself in, because ultimately it didn't really come down to competence. It was a matter of confidence. And so the academic mentorship, we say tutoring is the T word at Curious Cardinals. We don't talk about it here. It's really a relationship with a mentor to help guide you through a course, help guide you through a subject that maybe you're struggling with. We actually have a lot of students this summer doing college essay writing and work with someone who you really deeply connect with to be your best self, unlock your greatest potential.
Got it. One thing I do want to throw out there for our listeners is I love the idea of the passion project, of finding the passion. I will say this, for many, many, many students, I will even go so far as to say for most students, I'm not sure that passion ultimately is where you net out. Maybe it's just that you find things, passion feels like a really big word, and it could simply be finding things that you're just interested in. Even in my own life, at a far advanced, not recent college graduate, I wouldn't say that passion describes the things I'm interested in, and that's okay. That's all I want to throw out there, right?
No, yeah. I'm so glad you say that, because passion can feel very daunting. The core pillars of Curious Cardinals are near-peer mentorship, learning from a college student not too much older in age than yourself, passion-based learning, project-based learning, representation matters. I'll hone on the passion-based learning because I agree, passion can be an intimidating word. It can be as simple as you love watching sports. And then we say, you want to learn sports analytics, or you want to make a blog on your favorite sports teams, or you love fashion and Instagram, want to learn social media marketing or fashion and sustainability. I think the unfortunate reality is kids learn in silos, and we live in a hyper interconnected world. So it really can be, as you said, as something you're interested in, something that makes you happy, something you have fun with. And there's a lot of ways to connect that to doing something that you're proud of.
Yes, love it. All right, so let's talk about, it's summer. Many students ideally kind of know what they're going to do. Maybe they have a part-time job, maybe they're going to camp, maybe they're doing an internship, maybe they are doing some research. There's a wide variety of things that students might be doing with their summer. Some may really not know yet. Some parents may be pulling out their hair saying, what are you doing with your time this summer? In general, though, regardless of what else is going on, summer, maybe some of these opportunities tie directly into things you're interested in, or maybe they're completely unrelated. You're just scooping ice cream down the street, and otherwise you're not really thinking about the things you're interested in. So what are your tips for kind of using this time alongside maybe other things that you're already doing for exploring interests? You know, what are some things that you would recommend?
So as I just was saying, and we were discussing, it doesn't have to be something so complicated. You also, last thing you should do is think what would look good for college, because ultimately you are going to do the coolest thing or get the most excited or go down the most loopholes with the thing you're genuinely most interested in. So I would say, what's that thing that piqued your interest? Maybe in a class, maybe a podcast, maybe it was something in your TikTok feed, and use summer as the time to dive deeper, whether that's by signing up for a class, whether that's by pursuing an exploratory journey with a Curious Cardinals mentor, whether that's by finding a few books within that subject domain that you say, like, I'm going to read these this summer and I'm going to commit to developing my understanding here. Maybe it's even something as a prerequisite to doing something in the school year. Like you've decided debate actually could be really cool, but I'm a little bit intimidated to just try out for the debate team with no prep. So this summer, I'm going to work on my debate skills. I'm going to watch debates. I'm going to take a debate course. So I would just say, put yourself out there. And again, there are no ramifications. Unfortunately, that fear of failure so often inhibits students from even trying. Lean into the opportunity to not have a grade and put yourself out there in situations that you otherwise might not put yourself in. And the worst case scenario will be that you learn it's something you're not interested in.
Right.
That's great, because then that's one other thing you're like, great, I'm actually not interested in this.
Right.
On to the next thing. The best case scenario is you find something that you love and you're so excited to continue with it. And you were able to start when you were in a summer headspace. You weren't like, my test on Friday and this grade and that. Like, you had the summer freedom to just kind of dive deep and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that exploring interests it's as valuable when you discover that you don't like something as it is when you discover that you do like something. I can't tell you how many students I've said who are thinking, oh, I might want engineering. And then I say, why don't you do this 3-week online course where they're going to take you into the different levels of engineering. At the end, you're going to know a whole lot more about what that actually means. And if you like it, great, then you can look for other opportunities. And if you dislike it, awesome. Now you can move off the idea that you might apply for engineering and try and find something else that you're interested in.
100%. And you don't have to overcomplicate it. There's so many simple ways to ask someone to put yourself out there to read something. So
Right. And you know, online courses, they have all these now free courses that students can take. So it's not even like you need to make a big monetary investment, which I think a lot of people worry that they need to do that. But really, I mean, I go back to Good Will Hunting, which I realize is a really old movie at this point for everyone listening, but you know, where he is having a debate with a guy in a bar who goes to Harvard, and he's talking about how all these things he could have learned just with a couple of dollars in late fees at the library. I mean, there's a lot that you can explore on your own.
Podcasts are another great free medium.
Yes.
There's so much you can learn and such quality storytelling.
Yes, absolutely. Good point. What about for the students? We talked about, you know, oh, this sparked your interest, or, you know, you studied something in school, but maybe there was an element that you didn't dig that deeply into, and now you're going to spend your summer. What about a student who says, or a parent who says, you know, I have no interest, or my child has no interests? What are Is there anything you might recommend for students to do to see if that sparks an interest for them?
Yeah, I would say that what's difficult is this reframing. And that's what a lot of families come to us for, because they will honestly say, my kid can't stop playing video games, or they won't get off of TikTok. And
Right.
our whole thing is you got to validate who the student is. That's the way to set this up for success. So why don't you learn how to code a video game? You love TikTok. Why don't you learn video production? Like, lean into who your child is authentically and help them connect the dots to ways that they can do something fulfilling and meaningful or impactful in the world, because there are so many ways you can leverage social media to make an impact in the world, or you can leverage your love for videos or digital games and whatnot to do something productive or create it as your own. So I would say resist the urge to admonish it, say it's the wrong thing, and
Yes.
be more curious, try to understand how you can lean into it, embrace it, and champion it further.
Right. I love the word authentically. It's such a big word in college admissions. If you are authentic to who you are in the things that you pursue, in the things you're interested in, it's always going to resonate more than if you try to create this persona that you think the colleges are going to want. And I think you used that phrase as well, like, don't do it because you think colleges will like it. That's like the
And
worst thing you can do.
And you're not going to be so excited to spend all the time that's going to actually enable you to do something extraordinary when you're doing it inauthentically. And
Right.
there's so many fun ways to, I think, when you have the freedom of summer to combine interests. We have a student named Ella who loves playing cello and she loves art. She's never learned art professionally. It's kind of her self-taught hobby. And so she spoke to our team and we helped her think about, like, how could she connect the dots? She's working with one mentor to produce her first cello song. She's never produced her own music. And then she's working with another artist mentor to learn digital art. And she's going to design the album cover and then bring it all together. And so that's such a unique way to kind of, again, combine two authentic interests, but she's doing it because she genuinely loves these two things. And she's going to be really proud of the outcome at the end of the summer.
Right. I love that. We have 1 minute. Very quickly, a third thing that you recommend is making time to have fun. Why? Well, how is that important?
Life is short and summer is shorter.
Yes.
And you won't always have the freedom of summer. After you graduate from college, or even in college, there's really the pressure for internships. And when you have fun, that's when your mind runs free, when you're going to maybe have a crazy light bulb moment for something you could create or what you genuinely care about. And mental health is a huge priority. Prioritize your happiness and mental health over the summer. It's not just an opportunity to be productive, but also to recharge. And I think that summer is also an interesting time where I felt like I was either such an adult or such a kid in high school. Kid when I was running barefoot or making sandcastles or eating too much ice cream, an adult when I had my first job experience or was learning independently. And so I think you should embrace that dichotomy, and summer is the perfect time to really think about what are on the horizons, what you're looking for next. And that's kind of our hope with the mentorship model too, that it can actually make it fun to try something new, hold yourself accountable to some big audacious goal, because you're working with someone who you can see yourself in, who will hold you accountable, but also be a collaboration buddy as well.
Yes, love it. Audrey, thank you again for our guest or for our listeners, Curious Cardinals. You can check out their website. Next week, Shannon is hosting. Yay, very excited for Shannon to host. We're going to be featuring the Web Institute, which is another in our niche college series, and also doing a listener Q&A. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. The more we get, the easier it is for others to find us. I know I'm a broken record. And don't forget, we're here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific.